If you were not personally involved in 2010, what would you have thought of the Heat teaming up as a sports fan?
As a sports fan, I loved it. I'm not one of those, old school purists that was like, I suffered. I never won shit because I couldn't fucking move due to, the collective bargaining agreement. Rah, fuck you. Yeah, I'm not that. I just, as a fan of like all of these powerful Black men, like figuring this out on their own and turning the NBA on its fucking head. I was here for that fucking flex move. Definitely thought it was going to be an interesting experiment, which it was. How the hell were all these pieces going to fit? But yeah, no, I was here for all of that shit. But I was also here for when when KG and Paul and Rondo and Ray all came together, even though they don't want to admit it that they kicked that bitch off. But there's been super teams before. They didn't have. It wasn't in this era with this platform and with social media and sports talk radio 24/7. It's different, and how you look at it is different. And the whole built, not bought, like whatever. Boring is what it says to be. Okay, you built it. Did anyone come? No. Your fans are leaving at fucking halftime. Your cheerleaders can't be bothered. So give me a bought team. I don't give a shit. I want excitement, and it just changed the NBA, and it gave a modicum of power to the players. And once they were successful at it, 4 straight runs to the finals, 2 wins. Come on, it became a blueprint. And now those AAU relationships, the camps, all those relationships are coming into play now. And there's relationships that sports media will never have access to, because you're not sleeping in some shitty dorm, trying to figure out how to get to the next level with these same people that you're in these, camps with or at these tournaments with, and Duluth, you know what I mean? Like there's bonds being formed that, college coaches, the shoe companies can't control. And I love to see it. I love to see how these guys are going to be able to control their own fate.
We have talked about this a few times on the show, most recently for a few minutes with Blake Griffin. He brought up the '08 Celtics team. You just mentioned that there were many super teams prior to the Heat. And I've been a firm believer that the reaction, or the negative reaction, I should say, to the Heatles and the Heat forming, this big three forming, was because it was player driven. And you just said the second part of that. It was 3 Black men who sort of orchestrated this. Obviously, Pat was involved in getting this sort of deal done. And, the front office had to figure out cap space. Bron and Chris and D Wade all had to give up a little bit of money to make it work. But the engine, the sort of orchestrator of this whole move, for really the first time in NBA history, was 3 players doing it. It was a watershed moment in this whole player empowerment era. And so I couldn't agree with you more. Like, it is, to me, it's the most important thing that happened in my career.
Yeah, no, and I get, but part of the fun is everyone having different opinions about it and the reaction to it. There was the people who love the Heatles, and then was, the Chicago Bulls. It's funny because Joakim is I'm a massive fan and of him and his father. And so we've, had a chance to talk about it since, but, all that, Bulls chatter, Hollywood is hell, blah, 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 blah. Don't be mad because you're cold in Chicago. And they're not paying state taxes and they're living the fucking life and they're winning and and it's like, it made the NBA sexy again. You know what I mean? We hadn't had that kind of interest, good or bad, really since Showtime. You know what I mean? You had those Kobe teams, but it didn't all come together, beyond, Kobe and Shaq. There weren't, the whole team wasn't like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You know what I mean? There was a Smush Parker in there somewhere. You know what I mean? The kind of like,
A Chris Mim. Chris.
A Chris mem. God bless Chris mem. But like with the Heatles, it was like 12 strong. Everyone had a story. Everyone had, a spot to flex. That shit it's rare. And you see teams trying to, recreate that now, and as they should, you know what I mean? But also that whole taking a pay cut to make it work. I think they're catching on now. And if you're a player listening to this podcast, don't fucking take a pay cut to help billionaires avoid paying taxes. I think Donald Trump did enough of that. So don't take it on the chin. Money you'll never get back. Fuck that. You know your worth and they know your worth too. So don't worry about other people's tax problems. Get your money.
Have you ever thought about being a sports agent on the side? A sports agent?
I was going to say, or just a sports commentator. You should do what we do. You're like way better at than us.
No, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the game and in being married to him and how he's moved through the league and where he's at now, having to understand the business side. And it's a business, and you can never forget that whole loyalty shit. And we're a family. Fuck that. You're a family till we get divorced, and they are divorcing motherfuckers like crazy. So you could be happy now, but negotiate like divorce is on the table at all times, because they will drop you like a bad habit or throw you square under the bus. When things don't go well. So you have to come into this understanding it's a business, and that money that you'll make up, in a big market. Stop the lies. Let's. Why are we playing these games? Why are we telling these people these stupid ass things? But yeah, you get a lot of people who have no clue about the business of basketball and how things get done and all of that, chiming in with their hot takes, and you're like, oh, well, that's cute. You're just trying to get clicks, but you actually have no fucking clue what you're talking about. That's cute.
Secure the bag. Always secure the bag.
Always secure the bag. That money is not magically reappearing anywhere. Like, get it today. It's not like, the wimpy, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. No. Get your hamburger and your pay today. Tuesday will never come.
Do you have any, with a little bit of distance, do you have any on-court memories from those teams that stand out to you?
Oh gosh, I definitely think that they were unfair to Chauny, my little Mario Summers. They gave Mario the flux. Oh, that was, gosh, Mario took a lot of abuse. But they had fun. That first year, not as fun. Last year, not as fun. But those 2 years where they won, I've just never seen anything like it really in sports, and to have a bird's eye view of it. When D was, injured and playing with, swollen knees and whatnot, and literally getting, fluid taken out of his knee on a game day, which, as you guys know, is not ideal, but still playing anyway. And you had Braun there to shoot the gaps where, there were, challenges. And then when Braun, had challenges, you had these, these other people who stepped up, and everyone had a chance to shine. It was fucking awesome. There were so many games where we were just like, it just felt like angels in the outfield, where it just feels like we're if you're a Miami fan and you're in it and you're in this arena, or like the game when Ray, we thought it was over. And Chris, tapped it to the fucking goat in the corner and, saved the season and kept us alive. That shit felt like, I don't know, like something out of a Disney movie. Like, that's not real life. And how the arena just felt like electric. That shit was awesome. But also, shit, like there were some bad motherfuckers at those games. Some hot chicks. Like, I don't know where they built these ones at, in a lab, I think. Just like beautiful people, all the celebrities from around the world that came out and just became these fans. It was just awesome to see and be a part of.